Hi everyone, I am Nikita. Let's start today's session. Today we are diving into Unit 3 Transport in Plants, Part 2 MYP4. We will focus on how tall vascular plants take up and transport water using specialized structure and biological processes. Let's start. In this session, we will discuss about few topics. Topic discussed: transpiration, guttation, structure of the lenticels and stomata, what is hydathodes, factor affecting transpiration, internal plus external, adaptation in mesophytes, hydrophytes, and hydrophytes to prevent loss of water by transpiration, and the last one is translocation. So as we have already discussed vascular and non-vascular plant type in our previous lecture. Let's begin first transpiration. So as you look in the picture, this is the transpiration and this is a guttation. So let's understand what is transpiration and guttation and the major difference between them. Okay. So let's start with transpiration. This is the process where water is lost. As you seen in the picture, that this is a stomata pore present on the leaf stomata, and through stomata, water will be evaporated. So water becomes water vapor and evaporate from this pore that is called stomata. That kind of loss of water in the form of vapor, that is called transpiration. So basically this is the process where water is lost from the aerial parts of the plant such as leaves, right, sometimes stem, basically mainly through stomata. It's create a suction force that pull water up from the roots through xylem. Think of it like a straw. As water evaporate from the leaves, more is pulled upward. So basically a transpiration, it's a loss of water vapor from aerial part like leaves, like stem of a plant, mainly through stomata. It's a passive process. What do you understand by this passive process? Passive process, it means everything going from high to low concentration, high to low concentration region. No ATP consumption here. No need to consume any kind of ATP. So it's a passive, always travel from high to low. Help in cooling, water movement, and mineral transport. So, what is the significance of transpiration? Why transpiration is done by the plant? So, the reason is to maintain the temperature, cooling the plant, water and mineral transport, right? Correct. So, xylem vessels load water from the soil plus minerals through the xylem vessels. It transported in upward direction. Third one, to maintain. So transpiration also perform for maintenance of turgor pressure. So as we talked about this earlier in the class, tell me what is turgor pressure? So basically it's a pressure applied by water against cell wall. Against cell wall, that is called turgor pressure. Fourth one, gas exchange support, to support, and obviously stomata open for transpiration, allow carbon dioxide to enter for photosynthesis. So transpiration also help in gas exchange support. And fifth one is continuous water flow, to because minerals mix with water and transported in upper part of the plant. So maintain a flow of water from soil to leaves, keeping the plant hydrated and nutrient rich, like rich in sodium, potassium, iron, ions, etc. So these are the basic reasons why plants perform transpiration. Yes, so it helps in cooling the plant, moving nutrient and maintaining the water flow. Look how transpiration done. So it's a sunlight falls on leaf makes their glucose C6H12O6, then water absorbed by the root, and that process called osmosis, right? So it's a passive process, no need of ATP here. So root hair cells absorb water loaded in xylem vessel, then further transported in the upward direction through the stomata pore. The extra excess water is lost. So unused water evaporate from the leaf surface. The stem draws the water up. Now come on the next. Next is guttation. So this happen mostly at night time. Yes, transpiration happens in daytime in presence of sunlight, but guttation is something that is happen mostly at night when soil is very moist. When soil is very moist, the root pressure push. So root apply a pressure, push water droplets, H2O droplets out from the tips or edge of the leaf. Right? So it's a basically loss of liquid water through hydathodes. Hydathodes are specialized structure of pore present in at leaf margin and edge of the leaf, that is called hydathodes. Occur during high root pressure. Yes, root apply high pressure. Usually happen at night time. Example, colocasia and the grasses, lower family of the plant, do guttation process, right? So unlike transpiration, guttation is not due to evaporation. It's due to the high root pressure. So now come on the function and reason why guttation take place to relieve root pressure, help release excess water taken up by the root when transpiration is low. So the plants which not efficiently do transpiration, they lose the water by the process called guttation through the structure called hydathodes. Remove excess salt. Yes, water released by guttation containing dissolved amount of salt and minerals, helping maintain ionic balance in plants. Maintain water movement. Yes, so keep water flowing through xylem even at night, preventing stagnation. Prevent waterlogging in root. So roots, we know roots apply pressure due to which water goes upward and leaks through the hydrothods. So by expelling excess water, it reduces internal pressure and avoid any kind of damage. So shows root activity indicator, presence of guttation droplet indicate healthy root pressure and healthy plant and active absorption used in study or crop monitoring. Look the beautiful figure how guttation looks. So this is the leaf margin. Leaf margin, they have little spores that is called hydathodes. Through this hydathodes, the pore water is ooze out in the form of the liquid. No evaporation done here like transpiration. So let's figure out the difference between transpiration and guttation. Usually asked in the question. So transpiration and guttation, water loss at in the form of water vapor, but guttation in the form of liquid droplet. Occurs through stomata and guttation through hydathodes. It's a pore basically. When It's transpiration happens at daytime, high transpiration, but guttation generally happens night or even early morning, low transpiration, driven by transpiration pull, but its guttation act by root pressure. So root apply high pressure. Let's study some structure. What are the major structure play a role to lose the water, excess water especially? So stomata. Stomata is a pore. It's a kind of a structure which help in exchange of the gas, help in transpiration. So regulate transpiration and gas exchange. Come on the second structure, lenticels. It's specially found on the stem of a plant. Lenticels allow gaseous exchange. So stem also perform gaseous exchange in woody stem basically. Hydathodes excrete water during guttation in night and early morning. So plants also exchange gas and lose water through stomata on the leaves. So basically stomata found on leaves. Right. And lenticels are raised pore basically found on woody stems. So basically it's found on woody stems. Both help in gas exchange and some water loss. So these two one basically help in gaseous exchange specially, and all three one help in lose the water. Stomata, lenticels, and hydathodes. Come on the structure of stomata. So stomata it's composed of many cells, epidermal cells which surrounds the stomatal cells. Look, it's two bean-shaped structure cells. This one that is called guard cells. Guard cells. In the guard cells have chloroplasts, multiple chloroplasts. These chloroplasts do photosynthesis in the plant basically. Right? We know already plant cell contain vacuole, so it have vacuole as well. Thick inner wall, this one. Why it is thick? To maintain the opening and closing of stomata, whereas it have subsidiary cells or companion cells which surrounds these two guard cells. In between of guard cells a pore, so it's called stomatal pore. Each cells have its nucleus, we know already, so it's a nucleus. It's a diagram of the stomata basically located on the leaves, upper and lower surface of the leaf both. So this is open stomata. Look, this is open. Closed stomata, guard cells closed. This is the lenticels, exposed pores present on the leaf, help in gaseous exchange. Basically, it's play a vital role in gaseous plus water loss as well. Exchange. Come on the hydathod. Hydathod are present at leaf margin, edge tip. Right, look, this is a pore through which excess water ooze out. So, hydathods, these are specialized pore. So, let's figure out hydathods. Specialized pores, mostly found at tip and margin of leaf. Margin of the leaves. They are the exit point of water. Yes, it's an exit point for water. During guttation, hydathodes are active when transpiration is low. So, especially during cool, humid night, it's take place. Now, let's deal with factor affecting transpiration. We already did just discuss about transpiration. It's a mechanism of loss of water in the form of water vapor through the stomata pore. Stomatal pore present on the leaf, right? So what are the major factor affect rate of transpiration? Rate of transpiration. External factor like dry light, open stomata. So if we deal about the external, it's light, temperature, humidity, wind. Okay, so light open the stomata. If open stomata is open, the rate of transpiration will be high. Temperature, temperature. If temperature going to be increased, it also increase rate of evaporation. So it also increase rate of transpiration. Why? Because temperature getting increasing, the water molecule have high kinetic energy. Due to this kinetic energy, water easily evaporate. Humidity, decrease transpiration, right? So if humidity of atmosphere increase, the rate of transpiration will be decreased. Why? Here the concept is, assume this is a leaf. The water is evaporate. In nature, in atmosphere, there is already high amount of like moisture present in the water, which decrease the kinetic energy of these exit molecule, leading to low rate of transpiration. Come on the wind. If the mobility, if the wind speed increasing, rate of transpiration also increasing. Why? Again the reason same, kinetic energy of the water vapor molecule will be high, therefore rate of transpiration again high. Internal factor like size of the leaf, more the size of the leaf, more number of stomata is present, so rate of transpiration also increase. Stomata number, more the stomata number, then more will be the rate of transpiration. Cuticle thickness, if the thickness, so basically cuticle, it's a covering of the leaf, so leaf is covered by a waxy layer, that is cuticle. If a leaf have thick cuticle, it means it prevent the loss of water vapor, the rate of transpiration will be decreased, right? This is a covering basically. More thick covering leads to decrease the loss of water vapor. Let's understand the new topic, hydrophytes, mesophytes, and xerophytes. Let's understand what is the meaning of these three terms. So, first one is hydrophytes. Hydro means water. Phyte means plant. Easy. So basically the plant that live in water, that is called hydrophytes. Mesophytes, the plant living in moderate environment, not much dry, not much watery environment, in mediate or moderate environment. And xerophytes, the plants living in the severely dry condition, terrestrial environment. Look the example one by one. Come on the adaptation in mesophytes. So basically, we know mesophytes are plants that live in moderate environment, not too wet. So for mesophytes, they live not too wet, not too much dry, too dry. They have normal size leaf. So property of these plant type, what are the major property they have? So property, normal size leaf, well developed roots to absorb water, minerals, average stomatal distribution, not much, not less, it's average stomatal distribution on the leaf. Right. So mesophytes live in moderate condition. Example like sunflower, maize. Adaptation, normal root, shoot, thin cuticle, stomata on both leaf surfaces, average. Let's do the hydrophyte. So adaptation, how hydrophyte plants adapted themselves. So live in water rich environments such as lotus, water lily. These are the plant always grow in the liquid in water bodies. Adaptation have thick cuticle. Why thick cuticle? So it have thick cuticle like this. Sorry, thin cuticle. It have very thin cuticle. Thin cuticle leads to be increased rate of transpiration. If the cuticle is very thin, the stomata easily evaporate water in the form of vapor. Upper surface stomata, parenchyma, air space present in the leaf and reduce xylem. So hydrophytes like lotus live in water and have large air space. So parenchyma it means large air space present in the leaf and having thin cuticle. Come on the hydrophytes water loss prevention. How water loss prevent? So low no transpiration pressure, few or no stomata on lower surface, no thick cuticle, and constant water availability because these plant always dipped in inside the water body. Come on the next one for xerophytes. Let's study the xerophytes. So xerophytes like cactus are adapted to dry areas. Xerophytes are the plants basically grown in dry areas. They have thick cuticle, thick, whereas hydrophytes have thin cuticle. Thick cuticle leads to prevent loss of water. They conserve water, prevent loss of H2O and conserve water. Sunken stomata. What does it mean? Sunken stomata. Stomata most of the time remained closed. Why? If they remained closed most of the time, it's help to prevent loss of water. So it's help again the prevent loss of water in the form of vapor. And small or modified leaves. Look, cactus. This is a cactus stem. The leafy part is these spines. This one. So this is the modified leaf, and this is the modified stem portion. Translocation. Now come on the lastly translocation is the transport of food, basically glucose from the leaves to other part of plant. The plant through the phloem. This movement happens both upward and downward, unlike water transport, which is only upward. So, translocation, movement of food, sucrose, glucose, nutrient from source to sink. What is the meaning of source? Source is that portion where food is prepared. Source is leaves because photosynthesis, the process of making the food happens in the leaf. So leaf act as a source, whereas sink is the root system where the food must be transported by the help of phloem. Phloem, it's a kind of permanent complex tissue. It's a permanent complex tissue. Yes, we already talked about this in earlier classes. Translocation always happens in bidirectional. Why? It's always flow upward plus downward. In upward, it sends the food to developing flower, new stem, new plant, new leaves. In downward, it's transported in the root portion, root area. It's an active process because loading of the glucose is active, requires ATP, always flow low to high concentration level, low to high against the concentration gradient. Example leaf to fruit. So it's a leaf and it's a assume apple. Yeah, it's apple. So leaf makes glucose, star-shaped glucose, load in the phloem, then sends towards the apple. Right. Look, this is a xylem phloem. So xylem also help. Like water also help. Water mixed with this sucrose thingy and called plant sap. Basically, the nutrient dissolved in the water and it's loaded and moves and transported upper and lower part of the plant. So basically, the leaf is the source, sink is the root, phloem through the help of phloem tissue, it's move up and downward. So translocation is the transport of food, glucose from the leaves to other part of the plant through the phloem. This movement happens both upward and downward. Therefore, we say it's a bidirectional process. Bidirectional. To performing all of this, we need ATP. So plant consume ATP. It's an active transport mechanism. Active transport pathway. This process is essential for growth. Yes, obviously, food is the key of the growth. So it's helpful in the growth, store and storage, especially in fruit, root, and developing tissue. So in translocation, source leaves, sink is root, bud fruit, phloem is sieve tube. It's a component. Basically, phloem it's a tissue which delivers only the sucrose mechanism pressure flow hypothesis. It's always follow pressure flow hypothesis. These hypotheses state the transportation of the glucose. Let's summarize all of this. In today's session, we learned about transpiration, guttation, structures, stomata structure, lenticels, hydathodes, adaptation, meso, hydro, and xerophytes, translocation like food transport through the phloem. Let's take some question as a homework. So this is a question. Just read the question, write its answer by own to make your understanding clear. Thank you. This is all for today. Meet you in the next session. Take care. See you.